Good evening. Today is Monday, May 19th, 2025, and this is the monthly board meeting of the Australian Shepherd Club of America. Those present tonight are our Executive Secretary, Kala Jaco, First Vice President, Jerry Scheidt, Second Vice, Donna Sims, Treasurer, Diana Williams, Secretary, Tanya Johnson, our directors, Jan Weeson, David Clayton, Jillian Ward, Ann McCabe, and myself, Susan Byrne. Thank you for joining us. And the first item up on the agenda this evening is our financial report given by our treasurer, Diana Williams. Diana?
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Okay, I sent you the cash available in our accounts. The checking account as of today's date has a balance of $151,210.17. That's up about $18,000 from last month. Our wire account is holding at $100. The savings account is $34,459.45. The AEMD funds are 11,239.04. The foundation account has $73,450.72. The 24 Nationals account is holding at 108,126.32 for a total there in the Chase accounts of 378,585.70. Over in Vanguard, which are our investment accounts, the savings account there is 118,499.52. The AEMD account is $40,760.64, and the foundation account is $22.63 for a total of $159,282.79 and a grand total of $537,868.49. The active Nationals account is the 25 Nationals account, and they have a balance right now. They're running at $26,427.34. Any questions about those funds?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I'm going to switch over to let me change my screen real quick. Switch over to the financials. I'm sure everyone has looked at the April financials. The income in April basically was down $16,000 from the prior month, and we had several contributing factors. The registration service fees were down, program income was down, and memberships was down in income. So those three items contributed to the $16,000 down from last month. I don't know if we had funds in the office because we talked about the check machine, the deposit machine we don't have. I don't know if all the funds for April were put in timely for April or if some of it fell over in May, to be honest. We won't know until we do the May reporting what's going on there. Expenses were up quite a bit, as you can see. Over here. Our expenses for the month of April were $91,423.36. That's up from last month at $53,264.45. Most of that, of course, is because of the Aussie Times being published. Let me switch over to my notes real quick. So the Aussie Times was paid in April along with the extra postage. Our computer labor, the new labor was added to the April books, so that brought it up somewhat. We were missing an invoice in March from the webmaster. We got that in early April, so we paid that. And then the director reimbursement for the balance of the spring meeting was also paid in April. So we had quite a few extra expenses. It's all within the same budget. It just looks bad for the month. But when you look at the budget, and I actually need to pull that out to the budget, but we're still tracking on budget with our budgeted expenses for 2025. So it looks dire, but it's really not dire, in my opinion. We had a little bit of an increased payroll due to the payout of the prior office manager. One of the errors I found today on the P&L was the fact that our new IT employee was added under professional fees. So I'm going to have to move that or have the bookkeeper move it. I probably will move it into the correct category. On the spreadsheet, I put it in the correct category, but on his P&L, it's incorrect. The good news is Nationals is now closed. I can close it out. We can close that out and determine tonight what we want to do with the balance of the money. The balance on that account is 108,126 and 32 cents in Chase. It's 108,026.32 in QuickBooks. So it's $100 off at this point. And I think that's close enough that we can close it out. That account started out with a $2,000 balance before we turned it over to the Nationals account to operate that account. So theoretically, that means we have basically $106,000, 126 to do something with. And I suggest putting it into the savings account, but only after we should determine tonight how much seed money that the 26 Nationals needs and go ahead and leave that in that account. I don't know if we want to talk about that after or now.
Isn't it actually in the National Specialty Rulebook, the amount that's supposed to start the account?
Yeah, we moved it. I don't know if it actually got changed in the NAC book. Originally it was 1,500, and it looks like I went back and found the meeting notes, and I can't remember where I found them, but it looks like during one of the board meetings that it was changed to $2,000. And so that's what both the 24 and the 25 account started with, was $2,000.
Yeah, I think we need to change it grossly. We've talked about it at previous board meetings to move it up to something a little more realistic, like 10,000. I mean, it's just the national money staying there to use it for the next national if they need to send a deposit to the venue, deposit to, some of the vendors or stock suppliers or whatever. I think it's kind of crazy that we have to go, the national liaison has to go to the board each time and ask for monies for site visits and things that are already addressed in the budget. I think it would serve the board and the national committee well to leave a good size nugget in there that can be used. Obviously, it's based on board approval from the budget, so I would propose 10,000.
Okay, I'm just going to interject and let us take care of that as an email motion to be handled that way. And we can have further discussion at that time over the email. Okay.
Right.
Thank you. Diana, what else do you have? Would you like to report anything else on the financials?
I'm just looking at my notes. Several of my notes I already addressed in executive session, so I don't feel the need to repeat myself, especially given the time we've already spent. I would make a motion that we accept my treasurer's report, and along with a motion that well, never mind. Sorry. I was thinking about
Thank you.
the Nationals money of putting it in savings, but it's already ASCA's money, and we can just move that however we feel the need to. So my motion is that we accept the treasurer's report.
Thank you. Do I have a second? I'll
Tanya, I'll
second.
second.
Thanks, Tanya. Okay. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor of approving the treasurer's report as submitted?
Aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to jump the gun. I apologize. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, motion carries. Thank you, guys. Let's move along. The next topic on the agenda is again Ms. Diana Williams on the ASCA merchandise.
I
Diana.
didn't send out a reminder to everyone, but did you have a chance to look at, we have a little subcommittee going on that's been working on this. Did you have a chance to look at the spreadsheet of proposed branded ASCA merchandise, along with the cost and along with the proposed profit on each item?
I can personally say I did not see that email. I'm sorry. Missed it. I apologize.
I reviewed it in the Dropbox. Is that what you're referring to?
I'm referring to the spreadsheet and the email I sent out about proposed branded ASCA merchandise for us to purchase and have for sale at the ASCA Nationals, along that will supplement and support what the Nationals merchandise will be. So we're not going to compete with Nationals merchandise. It will be in addition, and it's branded under ASCA's logo.
I did see that. I'm afraid my concern is it would affect the national merchandise and that this possibly should be something that's handled outside of nationals. Just
It
a
will be
question.
handled, well, it will be handled outside of Nationals. It will just be, it's not, we're actually starting very small. We're asking for $15,000. And the return on that will be 105% of what we have proposed. And the thought is to set up the merchandise booth along with the ASCA Nationals booth. We have met with ASCA Nationals to compare merchandise so that we're not in competition with Nationals. Everything that we would have would support or be in addition to what the Nationals is purchasing. Things like hats, with the ASCA logo on it, some different t-shirts, not the same as Nationals t-shirts. I'd have to pull up the, tennis balls with the ASCA logo on it so the dogs can have toys to play with.
I reviewed it, Diana, and I'm in favor of it personally. My only caution would be as far as some of the items like the wine glasses potentially and things like that, things that might be the lower sellers. I might not do those as the initial investment possibly. That would be my only concern, but that's just mine. So that was my
Right.
thought.
Sure. No, and our concern was the glass as well, since this first year. Jill has offered to have the merchandise shipped to her house in California, and then since she's taking the store to Nationals, she will free of charge transport this stuff to Nationals. And the thought was to start on a smaller scale. The merchandise would actually promote ASCA's brand and bring more awareness to ASCA. And it's a double-edged sword. It's a money market. It's a money-making effort. ASCA needs, as you can tell from our financials, ASCA needs as many income bases as it can have. And as well as it will certainly brand ASCA out with the members and keep us present. And in the future, I could see us growing into more items, and in the future, probably even sell this stuff off the website, but that's down the road. That's my pipe dream.
Perfect. Jillian.
So I want to tag on to what Diana shared. I'll let you know that the vast majority of ASCA members have requested ASCA logo merchandise, not only at the national, but throughout the year. And so the development committee did a little teaser with a vintage long sleeve tee with ASCA down the sleeve, and it was very, very well received. There's a lot of people that would prefer to buy the stuff in person, especially apparel, because one likes to try things on. So we will have probably a better chance of selling that kind of thing to the majority of people who have a chance to try things on in person. What we've done is we have met numerous times with the National Committee Merchandise Chair and the regular chair and I guess, the co-chair. And we actually developed a plan to where their merchandise, it has a color palette, everything really pops. And then the ASCA logo where is all within the wheelhouse of ASCA colors. So we are secondary to them. And they picked the merchandise they wanted to sell, and then we came in with some complementary pieces. And we also tried to pick up on the market who only wants to spend $5 or $10 on some items. So they said, hey, our logo doesn't actually look good on, for instance, a keychain or something. So we actually did a lot of work with them. We also took the market share of stuff where we can get small quantities. So the proposal that we put together, we actually took a lot of stuff off of our list. The proposal that we put together, there's small quantities of things that we can brand with ASCA logo, with the ASCA logo, that we can stick out in front of a large audience of ASCA members and test the market. What do you guys want us to sell? So we've already done a poll and we got the information from them, which is what you're seeing manifested here in this. This is not going to take money away from the national merchandise, because in the past they also offered some of these same things, but it was all the same logo. So if you're shopping, you don't want all your t-shirts to look identical, but you might want one from the the national logo, and one from the ASCA logo. Remember, this is all ASCA money. The only difference is we're trying not to burden the national with the cash need for this. This the second part of this is we can sell this same stuff throughout the year. So if it doesn't all sell at the national, no worries. We'll sell it online. We might be able to get the business office to fill some things. When we were there, not this past spring, but the spring before, the staff was open to the idea of filling orders if need be, if it wasn't apparel. Okay, so if it's a glass, if it's a mug, if it's whatever, a license plate frame, something like that, they're happy to send that stuff out. They just don't want to deal with different colors and sizes. So this is actually a very, very well thought out plan. This isn't just a knee-jerk thing. And as I said, we don't want the national to have to come up with the cash outlay for this. This is the reason this is also a really good first attempt is because I happen to live close to the site and I'm willing to haul all the stuff there. So it's not an additional expense for ASCA. And we have talked to you guys about this before, and you requested that we quantify it. So that's what we're doing here, and we're asking for the seed money to get started.
Thanks, Julian.
Thank
Susan,
you,
this is,
Jill.
I love this idea, girls. I think this is a fabulous idea. I think that, like, I would be 100% in support of going forward with this. It's, we've been, how long have we been talking? Like, how do we expand? How do we bring in more income? And people want stuff with the ASCA logo. And like you said, Jill, they want it all year long, I think. I don't think they just want to be able to buy it at Nationals. And Nationals is going to be the Nationals logo. And this other stuff is going to be the ASCA logo. So I I think people are going to buy both. I don't think it's going to take away from nationals because people are going to still want their nationals memoir, their nationals souvenir, that has that logo on it.
Sure they are. Yeah.
They're still going to buy that. I just think this would be in addition to, and I think people are going to buy both. I just think it's a fabulous idea, and I think we should go forward with it.
Thanks, Donna. Does anyone else have any comments?
Yeah, this is David.
Jerry, and
Thanks
I
for-
would support
Go
it.
ahead.
Oh, go ahead, David.
Thank
I
you,
was just
Jerry.
saying thank you for doing this, and it's a great idea.
Thank you, David. Okay, if
This
we're,
is Jerry, and I would support it, and I agree. I think people are going to want that. They will ask for it because point of sale, they're at nationals, they're going to want it there. They're going to be disappointed if it's not there, and we sell it on the website because they want it now and they don't want to have to deal with the shipping and wait for it. So thank you. I know it was a lot of work. Appreciate the time you put into that, and I do support this.
thank you. Susan, if it's all right, I will make a motion and then we can decide that way.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I move that we add a new budget line item for the purchase of ASCA branded merchandise in the way of cost of goods sold in the amount of $15,000, as well as update QuickBooks to track the income from the sale of same product. The addition of adding branded ASCA merchandise will add a new income source to ASCA, as well as be a great marketing tool for ASCA and to grow our presence throughout the membership.
I second.
Do I have a second?
This is Susan. I second.
Thank you, Susan.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor from Diana and a second from myself to allocate $15,000 toward the purchase of ASCA merchandise, among other, it's not among other things, but a very detailed explanation was given in the motion. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor of allocating these funds for the purchase and resale of ASCA merchandise?
Aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you guys so much for getting all the data in order to present this motion. Very well thought out. I'm looking so forward to seeing those items there and just looking forward to the increased revenue that it's going to bring to our organization. Thank you so much. Okay, the next item on the agenda is the System Liaisons Report. Jillian?
Okay, so programmer one, she has put some registration items on hold until the interim manager has a little bit more time on her hands. So the good news with that is she's able to be working on the selects and adding the Supreme Championships to the actual portal, so it will title. After that, she's going to start working on the junior section. This is going to take some time because there's multiple programs that have juniors and or have added juniors. And one of the exciting goals in working on the junior section is to make it possible for the kids to see their own points. So that's a big one for her. Programmer two is finished programming the scent detection results into the computer. We've talked briefly earlier that the office has been working hard on getting the past results added, and there was a sentiment that she may be done with that by now, which is pretty exciting. The programmer too is currently on vacation, but when she gets back, she'll work on the scent detection titling and then go on to dock jumping. We have a report specialist who has finished all the reports for the website. She's now working on adding email address to the final reports, so it will be ready for the webmaster to send out invitations. And she's also working on the other breed merit list. So as soon as I get done with that motion, which is me, then it's ready to go. The webmaster is continuing to work on the judges directory. She's received a lot of the judges' feedback, and it's still trickling in. She's preparing a follow-up email, and once that's complete, she will review the remainder to make sure they are all still active. This is a big one. It doesn't sound like a big one in one sentence, but it's a big one. She's working on getting finals ready for all the members. There's a lot that goes into it, but it's going to be pretty exciting this year because everything's going to be an online entry. So that's a lot of work for her. And she's got a lot of other projects going on, a lot of testing, and she's helping the office with lots and lots of questions right now. And that wraps up my report.
Thank you so very much. Please, on all of our behalves, pass on our appreciation to the webmaster and to both of the programmers. I think it is a super big step in the right direction to be able to have the scent detection program now programmed so that those titles will be created and that all of those people who participate in that activity will be able to see those titles and their progress with those dogs. So please pass on our appreciation to all of those members on your team that are working so hard for ASCA. Okay, that brings us to the last item on the agenda, and that would be the ratification of last month's email business, and any director can make that motion.
This is Jan. I move that we approve all motions from last month.
Thank you, Jan. Thank you, Jan. Do I have a second?
This is Ann. I'll second.
Thank you, Anne. We have a motion on the floor from Jan and a second from Anne to approve the email business from the previous month, which would have been the month of April. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I shall call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. That concludes our business meeting for the month of May 2025. I would like to thank the membership for tuning in and listening, and thank you for your participation in this organization and your support. And if no one has anything further, I will call for a motion to adjourn.
This is Jan. I move that we adjourn.
Do I have a second?
This is
Tanya,
Diana. I
second.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Very good. Thank you all so much. Take care. Keep up all the good work. Thank you so much for all of your support. Have a wonderful evening.
Good night,
Thank you.
everybody.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
Good night.